Welcome to Land of Eam. Here we are.
Here we are in the final 24 hours of the Land of Eam Kickstarter. We've gotten to 200K. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's awesome. And today we're going to be talking about our big future plans for Land of Eam, because we've hinted at a lot of stuff over the last, however long we've been working on this, but not everyone knows about
our grand and wild plans.
All of our huge visions that we have.
Huge visions for the Land of Eam. Yeah. Many of you that have been following us for a long time are probably familiar with us talking about how we intend to do 10 sandboxes. And today we're going to talk about more than just sandbox material, but other material that we've been actively working on and are looking to release at some point in the future. To set everybody's expectations, though, there's no like timelines for releases for any of these things. This is just us sharing a little bit of behind the scenes of some of the expected expansions, as well as some of maybe the unexpected expansions that we've been working.
When do we get the Land of Eam flamethrower?
That derailed me. That's amazing. Land of Eam, the flamethrower.
I would say, like, the intention behind this is just to let everyone know how much we intend to support the game moving forward. Yes. Because not everyone will know that right off the bat. Not everyone's watching every single live stream that we do, or whatever, where we drop hints here and there.
Right.
And
right. It's really important to Ben and I.
Yeah, and it's near and dear to our hearts, and we have so much lore that we've written that's in the background that we fully intend to bring to the forefront eventually, like piece by piece. So we should start off with talking about sandboxes and what we imagine that to be. We imagine all of the sandbox maps, all the game boards will
physically connect.
Will fit together like a big puzzle, and you could eventually have this giant world in front of you that you could, play with. So every sandbox, we intend to have a big old map that's gonna right next to the Mucklands. It's all gonna branch out for the Mucklands. Space Eam when? Everyone is into Space Eam these days.
Everyone's into Space Eam, although I must acknowledge all of the hilarious Spaceballs jokes that are just flooding into the comments. They are amazing.
So branching out from the Mucklands, if you've read the Mucklands, then you will see all the neighboring sandboxes. We wrote it out. You've got the Grimdingle to the west, Shrim to the east, Skybright Valley to the north, and then beyond that is kind of we haven't really revealed where everything fits, but I think we're gonna share some of that today.
We're going to share some of that today, because there's also some locations that folks that are fans of Rickety Stitch will be familiar with that will have sandboxes or a sandbox to walk you through. But so how's the best way to do it? We don't have a visual for this.
No.
Because like I said, there's no release schedule at all. But I guess to get things started, Shrim is a realm that is located to the east of the Mucklands, directly over the Dustwall Mountains. And that is going to be the homeland of the Shrim. And Sputter and Spark technology will be that's the genesis point for the Sputter and Spark technology that people have been discovering in the sandbox, as well as where most of the Shrim folk come from,
as well as other folk like Spithra and Dratch,
mm-hmm.
and also giant Cyclopses, and other mega creatures that roam the deserts.
Each expansion will be one section, one entire realm, like the Underlands, where it has its own regions, characters, locations, quests. So we won't release two different parts of the map at the
I
same
refuse
time.
to say Cyclopses.
Cyclopses is actually like a many-year running joke with Ben and I that we literally can't not say it. It's impossible for us to. Sputter and Spark at Genesis Point is the name of my fourth hex, says Joe Chicken. Then for fans familiar with Rickety Stitch, you'll know that book one takes place in the Grimly Wood, which you can see partially on the Mucklands map to the west. Grimdingle is the name of the realm where Grimly Wood lies, where the Dingle Dell lies. That is a whole sandbox in and of itself that we intend to explore.
Yeah, and it's sort of haunted forest plus happy fairy forest. And Max asks, are we getting Pirates of the Caribbean to the south? Well, I don't know that we're gonna. I mean, we may eventually do something to the south, but for each of these sandboxes, like they're, or at least the ones along the coast, we're gonna have all these coastal regions where we'll get to explore more, pirate and nautical adventures and all that. There'll be plenty of stuff to get into more pirate shenanigans.
In the very loosest world map that exists, there's lots of coastline, so there's a lot of sea adventures and coastal adventures to be had.
Will the next expansion Kickstarter be East, North, and West, or will they be individually released? It'll be individually released, and we're not ready to announce what we're doing next. We haven't even started what we're doing next, really. Well, fully. We're not like working on it now.
We're not working on it right now, but we have started.
Little bits.
More airships and air pirates. Amen. Amen to that.
Grimly Oodle.
Yeah, Grimly Oodle. Nice.
Rickety Stitch reference. The Bogrel Junkmonger, who you will find in every sandbox because he will be at least one random encounter, if not something.
At least one, if not a discovery in all of the random encounters, which is kind of my MO, to put like him as a discovery in every region.
Yeah.
But yes.
And
the Bogrel Junkmonger, he is in every.
There's no question that he's multiple times because we're both writing them.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, the Bogrel Junkmonger is it first appears in Rickety Stitch, but the Bogrel Junkmonger has made an appearance in several of our books and throughout the Underlands. Or I'm sorry, throughout the Land of Eam sandboxes. It's kind of the Bogrel Junkmonger is directly inspired by characters from Usagi Yojimbo by Stan Sakai, who I guess are just called the Woodcutters.
Mm-hmm.
And they are like these peasant woodcutters in the hills that just appear many, many times as like quintessential peasants that are observing things in the world of Usagi Yojimbo. And so the Bogrel Junkmonger is sort of our send up to good old Stan Sakai about that.
I mean, the characters are totally different. It's just the concept.
Yeah, they're totally different. Yeah, just the concept of like running into the same guy on the road, or however many opportunities to run into the same guy on the road is great.
Where will the Underlands map be situated relative to the Mucklands? It goes right under. Not exactly. If you wanted to stack them on top of each other, you would have to pull the Underlands towards you a little bit. We may have to write that down exactly how that works. It's not super essential to gameplay. Everything has entry points from
Mhm.
the known entry points from the Mucklands will take you to certain hexes in the Underlands. But when I was drawing it, I definitely used, like for instance, SPL is above the SPL point matrix in the Underlands, and where Coop Cooperson is pointing on the map in Dungeoneer Adventures, that's where Dungeoneer Academy is. So everything is shifted down a little bit.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's super not important to stack it on top of it directly. We could talk about Skybright Valley.
Yeah. I think we mentioned this when we did our release video about the wizard, but members of our Patreon might be familiar with a chapter of a graphic novel that we released now a project that has like morphed into something else. So that will not be a graphic novel. But Skybright Valley is it's north of River Country, and it's home to a lush green landscape with mountain passes, and it's the realm where the city of Cloudcap, a Welkin city, is located and situated, which I believe is mentioned in the Muckland Sandbox setting as being a major hub for where the Welkin come from, Cloudcap. So the city of Cloudcap will be in Skybright Valley, along with like lots of mountains and lush forest and a fairy
A
tale.
lot of stuff that we have to
A lot of stuff that we have
develop.
to hash out and develop for sure, but we know physically that's where it's situated.
Yeah. And how we generally do it is we like to be working on book series, stories that sort of, build out a sandbox naturally.
And are a
So
great entry point to like learn about this setting.
yeah. So we've already done that for Grimly Wood. Like Rickety Stitch has already taken place in Grimly Wood, and we know where things are based on the story. And we did that for the Mucklands and the Underlands.
Mm-hmm.
We're currently working on a story set in Shrim.
Yep.
And we're also working on a story that's set in a place far to the north, currently called the Outlands. And that's sort of like this kind of a more brutal realm.
Yeah. Our notes actually say it's where civilization clings to a vast, untamed wilderness, and cunning wanderers, hardened warriors, and hardy folk compete to survive in a place of monstrous beasts, swords, and sorcery. And the Outlands is sort of our it's set. We're working on a series that is set in this location, but it's also kind of like a love letter to Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
In many ways. So another very different vibe from the other sandboxes, which we think is going to be a ton of fun to work on, and we think we've got something with like the tone of it that Ben and I really like, where it's like a combination of like brutal but also like hilariously brutal. The
Let's hit
Outlands,
up
not
some.
your typical vacation destination.
Let's get to
Hilarious.
some of these questions that we've asked up.
Yeah, they're
How did the place names come about? Eam, Mucklands, Grimly Wood. Some of that is hard to remember.
Yeah, the Mucklands came from the idea that that the region was like kind of boggish, but also like a little ruined. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like muck and grime and smoke, and it was once called the Bog Swain, but we knew we would never call the current region Bogswain. It would be the Mucklands, because that's how it is nowadays. It's like not it's was formerly a lot nicer than it is currently.
Came up with the Mucklands first, but that's
Yeah,
in lore.
that's true. Yeah, in lore it's
World lore.
Bogswain, but we came up with the Mucklands first because that's the vibe we wanted to give the region, the realm, I should say.
Grimly Wood happened
That's-
during the writing of Rickety Stitch.
That's a little tougher. I mean, Haunted for like Grimm's fairy tales, Haunted Forest. Like, there's definitely that element to it, but Grimly,
Just adding a little.
You know what I
twist
think?
to it.
Yeah, like a little twist to it, but like a little like cutesy jokiness that I think maybe would have maybe spawned from Ziggly Dorgelmorken, like the imp, because we start like he has a very particular way of speaking, and I want to say that it was like connected in some way, and then became like it's Grimly Wood. That's what it is, the Grimly Wood.
Fun fact: Ziggy's name in the first draft of Rickety Stitch was Olog.
Yeah,
and that was before Frozen.
Yeah,
much before.
Or Golo's brother.
Yeah,
because Golo's brother's name is Olog. As for Eam went through a couple of iterations, but we ultimately, I forget how we landed on it, but we created a mythos around the name. Eam in the lore means the light.
Olaf? Was it Olaf?
Oh, maybe it was Olaf. Yeah, it's Olaf. You're right. Right.
Yeah,
I was surprised by your lack of remembering Olog.
30 seconds.
Eam has an in-world meaning. It means the light in an ember, like the glow of an ember, and it's harkens back to the creation of Eam and like the myths that are around a falling star and a burning fire and Eppley, and so we liked the idea of the world being named after this in-world concept because it was representative of the fact that it was a world in decline, but there's still hope. Like, there's still a little bit of a light left, and all the player characters that are in the land of Eam are the heroes that are going to make that light burn bright again. That was the emphasis of the naming of the world. So many comments. Let's see. How far do the Muckland corporations reach into the other realms, actually? So that's a great question. Obviously, there's a little bit in the Underlands because it's, right underneath, and a lot of the power and money and influence is coming from the Underlands that is impacting the Mucklands. There's definitely
the Undermucklands is
is literally that. Yeah, the Undermucklands is very much connected to the Mucklands. There's a little bit of it in Shrim, but it's not the same. It's mostly like Shrim has its own thing going on, but it's not necessarily a corporate landscape, hellscape like the used to be forest or something like that. Even though there is some of that, there's trade. As far as the Grimly Wood, however, and the Grimdingle, it's you start to see it dissipate a little bit until it pops up in major population centers. So you'll see it like in cities, but like many of the sandboxes, it's not going to be the primary theme.
If you've read Rickety Stitch, you'll know that SPL is expanding. So they are, but it's all underground at this point.
Yeah, it's all underground, and there's it's pretty significantly different than it is in the Mucklands, as opposed to the locations of Rickety Stitch Book 2 and Book 3.
Are these stories in other realms going to be graphic novels or chapter books? possibly both. We're mostly working on chapter books right now. I won't say we won't ever do a graphic novel. I think we want to.
We're also going to do a novel as well, a longer form fantasy story.
Yeah, we want to be doing a lot of different formats.
Yeah, we find it really fun to work in different formats, and the game is one of those formats.
Not your typical vacation destination.
Yeah.
Well, you'd have scenic views and all that, but
Yeah.
you might get eaten by
Manticore. It's like roaming minotaurs. Outlands area sounds like how the Age of Swords describes the world. Yes, there is a little bit of that. I'd say it's more like feral, perhaps, than the Age of Swords, but yeah, it definitely has a sword and sorcery vibe. That's very much intended.
This is correct. It's Sky Bright Valley. So we've mentioned 4, and
I'll go to the next one because we just talked about SPL and Rickety Stitch book 3, book 2 and book 3.
Yeah.
So without any spoilers, like Rickety Stitch book 2, the Middle Route Run is an adventure that takes place on the road in a new realm, and we're calling that realm the Lingering Lands, and it is that that wasteland that Rickety travels through in book 2, and then ultimately arrives at the city of Harp's Edge on the coast in book 3. And the idea is that this is like an old world where there are ruins and forgotten places, and
largely abandoned.
And which is why it's called Lingering. It's like there's a hint of something that was once here, but it doesn't seem like it's operating in the same way that it had in the past. And a lot of towns or cities or ghost towns, and that one, we're really excited to work on that one too.
Yeah, and there's a lot to draw from in that one because we
have a lot of material. Like Rickety Stitch is got just tons of stuff to draw from for those locations, and we have lots of plans for the big story, which is cool. Forgot Space Seam. We did not. Space Seam is above. Up in the sky.
When's the animated show coming out, James?
Oh, it's a good question. Write all of your letters to Netflix. That would be great. It'd be really cool to work on an animated series. George Higgins, Grim Lee, cousin of Bruce Lee. That would be amazing. All Eam is Space Eam if you believe. I believe. That's amazing.
Space Eam.
If Grimly
we don't actually
Woods
have any plans, but we hear the
the clamoring. We don't have any actual plans, but we did promise if we reached 1 million, we would make it. And now we get some ideas rolling, but it's nothing firmed up. Grimly Wood are named after the Brothers Grimm. I wouldn't say it's named exactly after the Brothers Grimm. It's like inspired by, and it is a haunted forest, but it probably won't have. There'll be some doom and gloom quests, I'm sure, but I don't know that it will be all doom and gloom like Grimm's fairy tales.
No.
It'll have a wide variety,
hijinks
and wide variety, and it's not just Grimly Wood. It's also Dingle Dell, which is a bright, happy fairy tale forest where the gnomes are, and there's even a gnome city called the City of Mirth.
But don't worry, there'll be doom and gloom and mirth too.
Oh yeah, we'll mix it up. Eam the web series.
Are there any plans to add floating islands to Eam? I've been thinking about that actually. I mean, I actually think it'd be cool to add That I think feel like that could be in Skybright Valley.
Yeah. Yeah. Or anywhere, because they're
Yeah,
floating
anywhere. I
islands.
mean, we
Like
could
it'd be cool to make a
come up with a
supplement that could.
reason.
Yeah.
Spacing the one shot.
I
That makes a lot of sense to me.
love that. I love that. Space Seam, the one shot is hilarious. Oh.
Wow, Space Force.
The Outlands. Hear the lamentations of the Oracles. That's hilarious. Let's see.
Awesome. You played a game of Land of Eme at Free RPG Day.
Oh, very cool.
Thanks so much for
Yeah.
for your kind words.
Eam the live action puppet show. Now, I am so down for this. It's crazy. Like I can't even express to you how amazing an Eam live action puppet show would be.
James, do you remember for like a brief moment we were talking about like commissioning a Rickety Stitch in the gelatinous goo marionette?
Guys, he says
And like,
brief moment. We've been talking about this for years.
yeah, but
For like 10 years we've been talking
we were
about it.
seriously considering it to like bring to our school visits.
Yeah. I think the kids would have dug it. Although I would have to learn how to like use a marionette really well. I think I could fumble my way through it, but I'd be no Walden marionette.
We'll just hire someone to do it and just
Yeah.
go broke.
Our Instagram feed has like puppet people like all the time. I bet like there's somebody out there that would really rock a Rickety Stitch marionette. Spacing would have to be the corporations get hubristic like never before. Yeah, it'd be like Wayland Yutani. It'd be like like Eam corporations like in the Alien franchise.
Or just be like space race sending Scraggles into space.
Sending Scraggles into space. Although like you can't imagine like Paul Reiser being in the Land of Eam. He's like exactly the type of corporate hilarious looking dude who would like be
put some pointy ears on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boggertify him.
Exactly.
I'm down to do that.
It was a brilliant casting. Land of Eam the musical. Okay. God, that would be cool. We have so much music in the Land of Eam. It'd be great to do a live show. Let's see, where were we? We didn't even scratch the surface of what our plans are.
Well, north of the Lingering Lands is Felmog. So now you're talking about Grimly Wood, Lingering Lands, Felmog, which
3 sandboxes tall.
It's going to be really fun. And we're talking about the Outlands being brutal. This, I feel like, is much more brutal and leaning into. It's really.
Outlands,
it's like the Muppets meets Game of Thrones.
Yes, where like the Outlands is like feral and wild. Felmog is under the heel of tyrants and warlords, and they're not all bad, but they are all vying for control of Felmog, because the current state of Felmog is essentially a civil war between great houses, a la Game of Thrones, and military orders that are vying for control.
And we have written about the Iron Sun, the Black Candle, and the Cloven Tongue, but there are more.
But there are more. And the Iron Sun, Cloven Tongue, and Black Candle are probably the most powerful of them, and they're at odds with each other. The Black Candle probably the most powerful. It's currently the big dog. Felmog, aka Eamborg. But a lot of our vision for Felmog is like, imagine like a little bit of a grimmer like Black Knight twist on Arthurian legend, and like questing knights, but like some of them are have good intentions, others are just looking for power.
Yes, courtly intrigues.
Courtly intrigues. So we intend to have a lot of fun with Felmog. Like give it a kind of a hard edged feudal area. Boggleboard. Beetleborgs. Big bad boggleboards. Probably lower, like Dark Souls, probably like lower magic. Lower magic.
We skipped this. Going to be older fairies in Eam. Are there going to be spooky fairies like Queen Mab, changelings, and other nonsense scaries? Yes.
Yeah, we actually talked about some of that for Felmog, where there's like a little a spookier fairy vibe going on in that place, and Grimly Wood. Oh yeah, for sure, Grimly Wood.
I feel like we just kind of scratched the surface with the Droopy Downs, with fairies and all the fairy folk that dwell there. Like,
yeah,
right next to that,
right next to that
is Grimly Wood, where
there's a lot more of that. Yeah,
it's all bustling with that.
I have to answer this question. Is there any space in Eam that feels like Fraggle Rock? Well, my exact notes for Shrim, exactly as written, is Fraggle Rock meets Fury Road. So yes, the Shrim are like Fraggles, like little shrew Fraggles. Is the goal to kickstart a new sandbox every 2 years? That would be cool.
It'd be great to even do it faster if we can.
Yeah, it would be great to even do it faster, and maybe even direct releases where it makes sense schedule wise.
Yeah. The tough thing is you can't launch a Kickstarter before you fulfilled your Kickstarter, your previous one. So we always got to play that game.
Where is the Selkie homeland? We love them. That'll be Glittering Coast in the Grimdingle. A location. That's one of the locations we actually worked on.
Yeah.
I play Fraggle Rock as a theme song as part of the warm up. That's awesome. The Fraggle Rock theme song slaps. It is so good. Approval. Fraggle Rock meets Fury Road. Thank you.
What else can we say about sandboxes?
I mean, we could go all the way, May.
So, if you've read Rickety Stitch, you've heard of the Broken Country. It is the land of the Gloom King.
It is the land
of Felmog. And it's pretty bleak there.
Yeah, it is legitimately the only doom and gloom sandbox that we intend to make. And the idea is that this sandbox is meant to be Eam's darkest hour. And we loved the idea of positioning it so that when players and GMs engage with it, they know that like, okay, like they're going to have to buckle on their swords. They're going to have to face doom and gloom because the land of Eam needs them to be heroes. This is our Mordor. It really is. Like Felmog has its perils and things, but it's not inherently evil.
I know. I feel conflicted about it. I don't know if you'd be doing this.
I don't know. But somebody's got to throw that ring in a volcano. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I lost the comment, but there was a comment like 40 comments ago about releasing sandboxes with additional compendiums, and the answer is yes. Like we do have we've talked about this openly before, but we do plan on releasing a player compendium that has all of the new classes and a bunch of all of the professions, as well as a bunch of other folk and elements that people can utilize to really maximize character creation. And it's meant to be like a fun read with lots of different options that are all consolidated into one or even maybe two volumes if we continue to create more classes, which I think we will.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 2. I think it'll have to be 2. And we're constantly creating new stuff on Patreon, and all that stuff is going to go into a player compendium, or 2 of them. And what we have planned is, so we've got the unicorn, the tycoon, the wizard. We have revealed before on a live stream that we're working on the witch.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to be putting those along with the professions and all the new folk that we've developed into a compendium. And this is all subject to change, what exactly
gets put in there, but we're going to do our best to optimize it so that it's really usable, flexible, and fun to read.
But a second compendium could be filled with more classes, maybe some more folk, and the other idea is expanding the options of all the classes. So you think of something like the Knight Errant. What if we added, a handful of additional mounts they could have, that type of thing? Building on options for the other core classes.
Yeah. Wow, Paul, that's awesome to hear. That's amazing. Playing the Muckland Sandbox the first time we've played a setting that really feels alive. Thank you. That's high praise. Unicorn tycoons, wizard, witch, and one single snag bunny meeple pack. I would like some help understanding the wizard magic. It confuses me how it works.
Well, I know that we need to revisit that and make it clearer.
Mm-hmm.
We just got totally sidetracked by the Underlands, just all the work that went into putting the Kickstarter together.
Yep.
But essentially, you gain rune words in various ways at character creation and each level. So you combine rune words to make a spell. And so let's say you're
of your own creative creation. It's meant to be you create your own spell utilizing the words as almost like using them as like metaphors or examples of.
Yeah, and so you kind of extrapolate magic from these words. And so you can be really creative with it. It's not just like rote ways that you use them.
Mm-hmm.
You can change it every time as long as it makes sense to everyone at the table. I know that it could be explained better than that, and we will. But we've also taken a lot of feedback from people on the Discord, which has been awesome.
Yeah. And technically, the wizard is still absolutely in beta testing. We're definitely actively going to be working on it, especially when the campaign is over.
Indeed.
Show me your rune words, Costa.
I cast art and writing.
Behold, the Underlands.
I wish it was that easy.
Yeah. A question we get a lot about Bestiary. Obviously, the first Bestiary is called Bestiary Volume 1. Is there going to be a Volume 2? Yes. We're in the process of compiling creatures. There's 40 plus more that come in the Underlands book. And as we create more creatures, we'll compile them into bestiary volumes that make it nice and easy to reference them. And the volumes will always include new ones as well, so it won't just be collections of ones that you get into sandboxes. But we love, like, our own minds. We love the idea of consolidating things into really easy to use tools. So if you can put 70% of the sandbox creatures into a book and then add an additional 30%, we like to play with those kinds of books and resources.
Yeah. I think moving forward, like, it could even make sense for two. It'll probably be three sandboxes to make a bestiary.
Yeah.
Two or three.
2.5, maybe, like something like that.
Two plus.
Two plus.
Two plus, yeah. Like, unique ones that aren't in a sandbox.
Yeah. We also intend to do a magic items and equipment compendium that's got a large catalog of magical items and relics and equipment, all consolidated into one place. And we love making magical items, and magical items are a big deal in the Land of Eam because they can really provide a lot of utility and power to a player in a limited way, but in a way that can make you quite mighty when you do go to the broken country and face perils beyond imagining.
Not to mention a catalog of sputter and spark technology.
Yeah, sputter and spark technology, and like new mechanics for special types of equipment.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is an awesome way to handle it too.
Yeah.
What other folk were you thinking of? I'm not sure if you've seen the ones on Patreon. There's 30 of them.
Putting the total at what?
But
just shy of 50.
So one of them are dwarves that we haven't put there yet. That's definitely something we are going to do in the future once we sort of explore that more in our own stories and sandboxes. Mm-hmm. We kind of didn't want to just throw things out there that haven't been introduced yet without any context.
Right.
So that's one example.
Have we considered cards for magical items? Well, we certainly did do cards for Dungeoneer Adventures on the Kickstarter. Cards would be really fun, but you're right, they are more expensive to do in the book in most cases. But we'll have art and stuff. It'd be fun. It'd be fun to do cards. I also think cards.
Yeah, we toyed with that idea early in the design of Land of Eam. Like, I was drawing like items that we put on Patreon, actually. Mm-hmm. But we have the art from Dungeoneer Adventures. Like, who's to say we can't convert those into Land of Eam cards or something? Like, proper.
Yeah.
Change them, convert them.
Do like a whole Kickstarter on card conversion stuff, so people can have decks of items and adversaries, which would be kind of neat. Eam the TCG. Ben and I both believe we have a TCG in us.
And it's the same idea. We have the art. Why not slap them on cards? And
we have the art.
Develop a game. That'll just take a lot of time and play testing. There are some really cool tools to kind of speed up the process of creating cards now.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We promised it at 3 million, I think. And Possum. Thank you, Possum. We love you.
Yes. Huzzah.
Huzzah. Yes. You want to talk about Heroes and Fiends?
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting one. For a long time, Ben and I have talked about doing a Heroes and Fiends compendium. That is a book of fully detailed, fully illustrated heroic NPCs and fleshed out villains with their own campaign plots. So if you were playing and you wanted to thumb through a bunch of villains with their own scheme, there would be an entire compendium of villains that you could pull from for campaigns of your own making, as well as heroes that could be acting as NPCs that provide an additional boost to characters and parties, with more detail than what would be provided in a sandbox. So if you want
Yeah,
to
and they'd be like
adventure,
fully illustrated.
like, for example, they would have like a whole page dedicated to them.
Yeah. It'd be cool to have not only, quests, sort of like maybe a little bit like Eppley and Rickety Stitch.
Mm-hmm.
They have these quests specific to them as characters, but then we could add game mechanics around them as, adding to your party, or, rewards that they provide, stuff like that. There's a lot of things we can do that I think would be cool.
Yeah. It would be pretty cool. I was also thinking about, like, in terms of providing mechanics to a hero NPC, they could even work similarly to like a relic, where over time you could invest XP into the NPC for their own growth, which would be kind of a little bit video gamey, but I think for a party that is maybe smaller or needs a little extra boost or is getting invested into the campaign or the adventures of that NPC, it'd be fun to do.
Yeah, or even like, I think we talked about this on another stream, but like, sort of like in video games when you give an NPC a gift, we could have some of that. Like, I think we can do cool things, and maybe that's just like doing a quest, like a milestone achieved.
That's almost exactly what I was thinking. Eppley, 3 syllables. The road to Eppley.
How many campaign settings do you think you will do? We're thinking 10.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 more. 8 more firm ideas.
We do have something called the Wayward Islands that is off the coast. And some of the stories that we're writing
take place in this location.
And then there's another area that we have not named. I don't even know if I want to spoil it right now.
It's too, no, you can't. You can't. I cannot even find a way to say it without spoiling it. So, and it's not part of the 8. It's not listed amongst the 8. It's the secret one. Wait 10 years and you shall see. Name it Bob. When I die, my grandkids are going to fight over my Eam collection. That would be amazing. Yes, 10. We legitimately have 2 are in the, 1 exists, 1 is in the works, and 8 more we have plans for. What else, yo?
Well, we're working on the Patreon. We started up like this month. You can get it for free, actually. If you haven't done that yet, do so. Become a free member.
Ton of material.
On Patreon, you can download Raldar's Reliquary, and it's an example of the point of interest adventure sites that we're creating, and we think it'd be awesome to do a full book of those, just like have everyone be on a spread, so you just have a whole boatload of little sites that you can explore, plop them down pretty much anywhere.
I've been watching the actual plays to prep for running a campaign. Are James and George going to take a spin in the GM chair? I've been thinking about that a long time. I think the only reason we haven't is because we've sort of gotten into a groove with Ben as the GM, and it just, we just roll in and it feels natural. But I'd like to do it. It's been a long time since I GM'd actually, personally. So
I've
it'd be
said
fun.
this before on Discord, but the reason that's the case is because, especially right now in our lives, no one is going to GM except for me. I'll just be honest. I don't think I don't think the campaign would happen if
it would be such a shift.
I mean, just like the prep. I don't prep anything, and I'm comfortable just coming in. That's my strength as a GM.
Yeah. Well, I would have the Mucklins too. Like it would be the Mucklins is the key to the universe when it comes to that. It truly is. Was it a conscious decision to evoke the Muppet Show font look and Land of Eam logo? The Land of Eam logo was actually most inspired by the title for the Sword in the Stone. At least that's where it began. We wanted the Land of Eam logo. Like the very first things we were looking at is the sword, like the old Sword in the Stone typeface. We wanted it to have that like kind of medieval, flowery, elegant, but then we went into making it have like a little bit of musicalness to it and incorporating the stars. There's a whole thing.
I don't remember that.
I have the file still. I look at it with reverence and how far we've come.
Well, there's I did the beta one before going into the maybe the when we're working with the new designer.
Yeah. Net are the 10 sandbox battling. Yeah, net 10 sandboxes. One is Gloom King. That's correct. One is the Gloom King's realm. George does take the GM chair when he GMs himself. That's true. That's true. This is the segment of the actual play where George GMs himself. Wasn't George going to GM his hexes? Yeah, that'd be fun. I'd be down.
Yeah,
if only there were some resources to help GMs with campaign. Yes, exactly my point.
Guys, I'm all for you guys GMing. I just don't think it's going to happen.
All right, I'll do it this week. It's going to be a hard tonal shift, everybody, because I'm just going to try to beat Ben up. Oh, what was it? Sorry, it's -1. It's a perilous encounter. Sorry, GM's prerogative.
I bet Peter would do it.
Yeah, Peter would do it.
I'm going to put that on his shoulders.
Hey, thanks for being the actual play with us. Also, you want to GM it? Oh, guys, I don't know. It's hilarious.
Peter GM'd this really fun Monster of the Week campaign that I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. I would just need to exercise my GM muscle. It wouldn't take long. I just need to get into the groove. GM Ben speaks the truth to PCs.
That's what PCs need. They need truth.
They need truth. They need to understand that their wild ideas don't always work against dragons that can see right through their shenanigans. Let's see what else. We also want to dabble in making a mega dungeon, a Land of Eam mega dungeon, which would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and just adventures.
Mm-hmm. A lot of adventures.
All these sandboxes, we're going to continue the thing of have an adventure book.
Yep,
companion with them.
And very recently on our Patreon, we started working on adventure sites, where there's like a bunch of areas to explore and a little thing going on that can be plopped into any quest or any hex. And I've always loved those because I find them really challenging to write in a with brevity. Pungeon Quest 2.0. There it is again. Pungeon Quest 2.
We've talked about that, but we're like, do we have enough puns left in us?
Yeah. Pungeon Quest 1 was a real challenge. It was tough. Although part of its toughness was like we did it really fast. It was a very truncated creative timeline. Characters I plan on including in my EAM versions of the Ice King, Adventure Time, and Pepe the King Prawn. Muppets. What is Pungeon Quest? So Pungeon Quest is it's a one-off adventure that we did for Land of Eam for Zine Quest several years ago, where the PCs are basically captured by the Punder Lord and thrust into a pungeon that they must escape.
Oh, I'm always thinking of puns, but are they good enough to make it into Pungeon Quest 2?
Let me ask my dad's self. Is this good enough to make it into Pungeon Quest 2?
Not all puns are created equal.
It's true. If you need GM, yes, this is absolutely true. If you need GM advice, help with EAM, the EAM Discord is amazing. The community, it's growing really rapidly, and the community is incredible. And there's great GM advice. There's games that are looking for players, GMs that are looking for players. It's an awesome community with the best community ever.
What's funny is I think he was directing that to you, James.
To me
when you GM, he's being funny.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I'll hey guys, my real objective is to kill Ben. See, I want revenge for years of getting my teeth kicked in.
Just throw a werewolf at him.
That's true. When in doubt, throw a werewolf at him. Be like, oh no, sorry, there's a lich in the house. It's just hanging out in there. Killer clowns.
Did we answer what Pungeon Quest is?
I thought I did.
Yes, you did. Sorry. Plans for a game jam. That would be awesome. And Pungeon Jam, I think, is amazing.
Pungeon Jam. Okay, that's such a good idea. All right, we're putting that on the shelf because I'm kind of in love with the idea of a Pungeon Jam. That would be incredible.
Yeah.
You die. Sorry, folks. Help me GM my own game. Oh,
we got to look into. I know people do game jams
on
itch.
Definitely Pungeon Jam. Yeah, Pungeon Jam would be a hit, I think.
Yes, that's on the list of things to investigate.
Yeah. As soon as we get through the campaign and get the Underlands rocking and rolling, we'll take a short breather. And
it's been awesome that, as far as I know, there are 2 Land of Eam compatible adventures that are on Drive-Thru RPG right now.
Yeah.
Which is super awesome.
I bet we can sucker JP into doing something for Pungeon Jam. Oh, totally. Well, ask him at Gen Con. Be like, JP, you are doing that. It's not a request. You are doing this. Has to be done. The people have spoken.
Let's make this a thing.
Yeah, let's make it a thing. I love it. It's a great idea.
Muppet Ninjas.
Yes, always.
Read Rickety Stitch Book 2.
Yeah. Looking for Muppet Ninjas. Rickety Stitch, middle run. Hopefully before the Underlands is distributed, I'll have my campaign finished to share. Awesome. Awesome.
Cool.
202K. 1,600 people have backed. That's incredible. That blows me away.
Question is, can we get to 225? I know everyone wants the meeples.
Yeah, that's
everyone's chattering about it on
23 hours left, folks.
Discord.
Now is the time. Now is the time to share it with every Discord and every Reddit that ever was. Can we get any mini spoilers about the Gloom King? I don't think so. I don't think so.
We have been holding on to that for years.
For years, decades, we've been holding on to the Gloom King. All we can say is that the Gloom King is the greatest threat EAM has ever faced.
And I would like to add that we want to properly reveal it in a story.
Yeah, it'll be the Gloom King stuff will be revealed in a series of books or a book,
and then the sandboxes or
will
whatever
follow.
Material will follow and expand on it
substantially. But the tale of the Gloom King will be told in a narrative.
Any future plans for Dungeoneer Adventures? We do have ideas.
Yeah, we do have ideas for additional Dungeoneer books. We do have ideas for the Dungeoneer game already on how to support that game outside of the regular Land of Beam sandboxes and stuff.
And that would be books of additional adventures, decks of cards with more items and adversaries.
Yes.
As for the story, like we did plot out 2 more books. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that.
Yep, not sure. We're actively working on a different book currently that we're very excited about that does take place in Shrim. More on that in the coming months. It'll be a while, but yeah. Wait, is the Gloom King stronger than Gordak the Progenitor? The Gloom King is different than Gordak, but that's hilarious and amazing.
The power levels of EAM.
The Gloom King is level 15. Gloom King spoilers are only available in Rickety Stitch and Gelatinous Goo. That's great.
And even then,
it's probably very...
Yeah, it's like limited.
It's very limited, and it's meant to be quite mysterious. But it's just the beginning for the Land of Beam. There's a lot there already, but it's just the beginning. Shrim novel. Yes.
Is there anything we're missing?
That's a good question. We talked about the player compendium. We talked about the laundry list.
How about
sandboxes.
Other classes that we're going to do?
We talked about the witch.
Should we say other ideas we have? Or do we keep those close to the vest?
No, the only thing that we have to keep close to the vest is the Gloom King. That's just like, can't do it. But,
right. So,
go
along with
it.
I think it dovetails nicely with Shrim, is the Inventor, which is a mechanic, inventor, sputter spark master who will have cool abilities dealing with machines and sputterbots and just all in that wheelhouse.
Yeah, that it's going to be super fun.
Yeah. I think
Sold.
um what else?
Thanks, Ashley. Heroes and Foes Compendium and adventures like Chickenfoot Witch sound exciting.
Yeah. I'm interested to we haven't heard much about some of the Sarpathy adventures. Like I've never heard anybody playing Eye of the Serpent God yet.
Yeah.
Or anybody talk about Sarpathy Temple of the Sarpathy. So it'll be fun to get that trickling at some point.
Aaron asks, you already talked about this, but will the Patreon content like Wizard and Unicorn make it? Yes, the Wizard and the Unicorn will show up in a player compendium along with other classes, the profession system, and a bunch of folk. So it's all consolidated, and we're probably going to do 2 player compendium volumes because there's a little bit too much for one book.
Oh, awesome. You're on track for Sarpathiness.
Nice.
Yes, Star Wars. That's exactly where my mind goes when we're talking about Inventor. Like, you know, because I made a Star Wars game and there's all this droid shenanigans you can do and just introducing like the concept of computers to Shrim and have that be a thing in the game.
Why are snakes always evil? They're actually not. The Sarpathi are not inherently evil, but the cult of Ek is. And in the lore, the cult of Ek and the other Sarpathi had a feud, and the cult of Ek is currently on top. But you'll meet in the Underlands, you'll meet other Sarpathi that are not cult of Ek or not inherently evil at all.
Basically, the fascist snakes won and wiped.
Yeah, the like fanatics that have a giant evil demon god. Shadowrun meets Eam equals Shrim. That's amazing. That's amazing. Shrim is really fun. We've been working really hard on our new book, and we're over halfway there, and I can't wait to share that with the world because it dabbles into a lot of stuff that I think people are going to dig.
I love this talk about what the Gloom King is to people.
Yeah.
This is like gold.
Yeah.
That it's making you the mystery of it just like sparking your imagination.
Yeah. The Gloom King does have dialogue in the Mucklins. I believe there's one place where there's legitimately like a read aloud. Do you remember where it is?
I remember 2 things. I don't know. I can't remember if it's a lich, but there's one in River Country.
Yeah, that's the one that's like straight up Gloom King dialogue.
And then there's something in, I think, Shadewan's Hovel.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's the Gloom King or I think it is.
I think it is. I'd actually have to. I know the River Country one is for sure. The Gloom King suffers no fools. Page 193. There it is. I love it. That's great. That is great. Well, I think that's like kind of a really quick rundown of everything that we intend. Like we said at the beginning of the stream, Ben and I, we will be supporting the game for years to come. We want to provide folks with Land of Eam for a long time, and to know that when they adopt the game, that there's going to be lots more that we can all have fun with and explore.
And I guarantee that some of this will change. We'll get new ideas. We'll add things that we didn't even talk about today.
For sure.
But this is just to give you an idea of where we are, what we're thinking, and all the plans that we have.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. It's great having everybody just explore the world and show the love.
What does the Gloom King sound like?
Sometimes a whisper, sometimes a thunderbolt.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't gotten to the point where we've written actual dialogue in a story, so
yeah, we've outlined it,
but I feel like we both know it.
Oh yeah. I will be inspired by so much like 80s audio treatments for villains when we get there. When you win those Ennies, don't forget the unicorn meeples. Well, we'll see. Thank you everyone for voting, by the way. We'll send out another message to make sure that everybody gets their votes in for Land of Eam. But huge support from the community. It's primarily a community driven award, so having you guys show up and vote is incredible.
Yeah, thanks a lot, everyone. We're hoping just to snag at least one.
Yeah, it would be incredible. I mean, we're already blown away by being nominated for 5. Like that came out of nowhere, and we're thrilled and humbled by it because boy, oh boy, there's a lot of incredible books that are coming out or that came out this year. That
there's some heavy hitters.
Yeah, huge heavy hitters. Ring a ding 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 ding. What does the fox say? That's what the Gloom King sounds like. Mana mana. But yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody. I think that's kind of it. It was great to hang out again. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll probably be doing an impromptu stream tomorrow night as the campaign ends to just kind of take a breath and celebrate and hang out in a very non-structured, like Ben and I getting to take a breather for the first time in 30 days, which will be nice. Heavy hitters, y'all literally released the brick. Yeah, too bad it's not a class for like heaviest product.
We're literal heavy hitters.
Yeah, literal.
Yeah, so we got it scheduled for 10 a.m. to stream, but James and I are talking about streaming at night as well.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a shorter stream at 10 a.m. and then we'll do something like an hour and a half tomorrow night.
Yeah, we just want to be awesome to be with everyone once the campaign ends.
Yeah,
thank everyone.
Yeah, to thank everybody and celebrate and raise our yoo-hoos and
chug them
What are y'all doing to celebrate? Well, we're chugging yoo-hoo. What are you gonna do?
Oh, one thing we didn't mention is that there are going to be random encounters for all these sandboxes.
So, so
that's like 15,000 to 20,000 random encounters.
Oh, I've not thought of it that way. But what? There's 1,000 random encounters.
1,000. So
1,000 random. So it'd be like probably like 10,000.
It'll be 10,000 to 15,000.
10 to 15,000 random encounters for the Land of Eam when we're all done, which is kind of punching me in the face at the moment. But Now
I
that
don't know.
since I think we can
That's
do
like
it.
the least of my worries.
No, I agree. I trust in us to be able to do it because having the setting of the where the random encounters take place with all the flavor and tones and everything baked makes it a lot easier so that it feels alive. It's it's all based on the regions.
Yes. May all your rolls be 12s. And also
ones.
one.
Long live the D12, everybody.
Well, thanks everyone. This has been fun.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to this to share all of our plans.
Mm-hmm. And probably someday in the near future, we'll probably put like a roadmap link on the website that's got a write-up of all the plans of everything, just so people can check it out and share with friends to see like, hey, this, here's the roadmap for this game.
Yeah. All right. Be sure to hang out with us tomorrow for the last day, and we will see you then.
Yep. Take it easy, folks.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.